Hi guys, it's HiMe back with another video. In this video, I'll be talking about web design and development, which is part of our subject called Multimedia Integration. At the end of this course, we should be able to submit an actual website that works, that people can view. It's actually there on your screen. Okay, anyway, if you're new to my YouTube channel, I make this series that is related to Benilde's multimedia course, and I just make videos on certain subjects within the curriculum. So if you're interested, do hit the subscribe button, leave a like or whatever, and let's start talking about our subject. So for our first meetings, we talked about the finals right away, agad-agad, parang sa mukha. They needed to brief us about how we can put our websites on the web by talking about domains and hosting services. So what are domains and hosting services? Domain is the name of your website, and a hosting service is where all the files are located so that your website can have shit in it. You're required to buy a domain and a hosting service right away, so that that's where you pass your activities and your projects. So for example, it could be yourdomain.com/activity1, and then your professor can just go into that and see what you've made. We were also required to submit a project brief of what the final website's gonna be, and so you have to conceptualize and figure out what your website is, what the purpose is, who's it for, etc. Oh, and we also had a quiz, and that was literally like the only quiz in the whole course. One quiz. Everything else is output project based as usual in most multimedia art subjects. For this week, we learned HTML, which is short for Hypertext Markup Language. If you know HTML already, then that's great. If you don't, then that's also great because it's kind of easy to learn. I don't really want to bore you with the details, so I'll just go straight into our output that we made. So we were like required to make a portfolio website on ourselves using only HTML. And what sucks about that is that with HTML, you can't really add color or customize the fonts or do whatever. So you strictly just have to use HTML. So like if you know how to do your Tumblr shit from back in the day, then this is for you, homie. Also, if you don't have any coding software, you can use this browser-based thing called CodePen, and I'll put the link in the description, but you can code HTML, CSS, and JavaScript there, which is what we used sometimes in passing some of our activities. You can also see other people's work there, which is very inspiring and crazy. Let's find what I made. I forgot how to record videos. Oh, look at me. Look at me. Okay. So this is what the website looks like. I'll be smaller. Ooh. So this is what the website I made look like. So right here we have an image. So if we inspect this, this is just an image, as you can see over there, and then this is just text, and this is just text. There's no CSS, and then over here this is a table. This thing called table align center. So it's all centered. 3 images per row, showcasing my works. That's all I made, and then I put a HR tag here. And this is this one. This is called the HR tag. I forgot what. Let me check my script real quick. Okay, that's called a thematic break. So I use that so that you know what the footer is and it's separated. So that's really cool. I could probably put the link in the description for you to check it out if you wanna check it out. If you're taking the class, just copy my work. So for the next week, we had to make branding guidelines for the website. So if you're taking MMA, you've already had subjects that dealt with making brand books and logos and stuff. So this is some students are used to this already, but you have to make the whole thing so that the design in the website is consistent all throughout. The typefaces, the weights, the sizes, the elements, the colors, and everything. So let's look at my brand guidelines. All right, here we go. Let's go. Okay. Here's what I made. This was actually my thesis and capstone. I just figured I'll make a website for that. So you got the logo mark, variations, color, pattern, texture, samples, typography, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and here's the unique thing that I haven't done before this is the look of hyperlinks, the look of what do you call this? Block code, inspiration, like what would the page title look like? Cards, icons, buttons, paginations, promo box, process steps, testimonials, pricing box, clients, and yeah, that was what was required for us to make. So that was kind of like, you know, yeah. We're learning CSS. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it describes how HTML elements look or how it's displayed. So for example, we have a text, and then we want the text to be bolder, or we want the text to be blue, or we want the background to be blue, or, you know, you get the idea. So, you know, artists be wild. We followed like a step-by-step tutorial. You know, I think this is just made to get used to CSS, get used to the terms, be familiar with them, and see how it works. Let's actually look at it. All right, here's the website that we recreated. There are media queries here. So if you click home, it goes there. Click about, it goes there. Yeah, this is where it fucked me. These boxes, because we weren't allowed to use FLEXBOX during this time. So I fucking cried here. So on the 5th week, we're learning FLEXBOX. FLEXBOX is a one-dimensional layout method for arranging items in rows or columns. In simple terms, you can make a box and set it to whatever you want, and you can put shit in it and add another box, then put another box, then put another box. So this is just to show you guys what FLEXBOX can do, right? So we have like a FLEXBOX outside. We have a class here. So think of that as this whole viewport. That's one whole FLEXBOX, and we created that division here at the middle, which is another box. Now we can add another box in there by just within this division. I can just type here, I can just copy this, then paste it, and then change FLEXBOX, the class. I'll just change it to FLEXBOX 2. Then I'll copy this whole thing, make it a bit smaller, maybe half. Then make this white. Then change the class, and then you have another square inside. Would you look at that? So if I paste another one of the black ones here, wrong. If I paste this within this div, yes, as you can see, there's another box, but since it's too high, you can just put half in there. And there you go, more boxes, It's not centered. I'm not trying to make this look pretty, okay? I just wanted to showcase how you can make boxes and boxes and boxes on top of each within. Okay, I'll move on to the next week. I used so much time on this part of the video. Minecraft. So for our outputs on this activity, we just had to recreate these boxes. So we had to recreate, I think, number 8 and number 10 here, using FLEXBOX. Using code, you're gonna recreate, I think, number 10 and number 8. Everything else here, you can follow true so that you can go towards number 8, but you can just skip all that if you're like Jimmy Neutron, you know? All right, here's what I submitted. I had to zoom it out because I wanted to show all the code. Let's see, this other one. Yep. There you go. You just use a lot of classes here so you can recreate the boxes and just change the direction yeah, just think of like arranging the boxes using code. That's basically it, and it will still leave you crying at the corner of your room. 6th week. We're creating another fucking website. So instead of a step-by-step tutorial, we now have to make this website on our own using FLEXBOX and the new stuff we've learned. So one of the new stuff we've learned are breakpoints, and a breakpoint is a point in the program where the code will stop executing at some point.
Hello, HiMe from the future here. So I think I over-explained breakpoints here. All it is that it can stop executing a code after a certain point. So like in this image on the desktop, it's like 1080p, right? But if you view it on an iPad or a phone, it gets smaller and smaller, and you don't want the layout to be the same. So a breakpoint is when it reaches a certain point, it can stop using that layout code and use a different layout code. So instead of the image being 580 pixels, it can be 480, or you can change the arrangements of certain aspects of the article in your website, etc. So it's really useful if you're viewing the website in a lot of different devices.
So this is the website we're supposed to recreate. They even mention, let's try to zoom in here. They say use an unordered list at the top, use the image they sent here, the SVG, use an unordered list to recreate this, an unordered list, yada yada yada, use an unordered list. They gave us a tutorial though, but he only showed us how to do some parts of it. Then the rest is your own doing. And I think the hardest part here for me was just figuring out how to use FLEXBOX to recreate all of these. Here's what I made. Yeah, you can hover. This is the first time I learned that you can code some transitions in when your mouse is hovering on them. So that's pretty cool. The cool thing about this is if you resize this to a certain point, there's the breakpoint. It's arranged differently now. There you go. When you're viewing it on a phone, it's gonna look cool. 7th week, Bootstrap. We learned Bootstrap. So Google says Bootstrap is the most popular CSS framework for developing responsive and mobile-first websites. So that basically means you can write CSS, but simpler. In fact, you don't even need to write it. Like, you don't need to write the actual CSS, you can just write classes. So technically they're giving you all these templates and you have to memorize those templates so that you don't have to write CSS anymore. Let's try to find something. For example, let's go and search Bootstrap nav bar, the navigation bar. So they're gonna show you the code. You can just copy paste this. And then you could customize the color, making it light, dark, like this. This is what it's gonna look like. I can actually do it right now. Put it here. And then let's put Bootstrap in the links. Okay, so if I run this, oh, there it is. There's your Bootstrap. All of a sudden, you already have now a navigation bar and you can do whatever with it. Customize the home links, etc. just by copying this code. So Bootstrap has a lot of those templates that you can use to your own advantage. I think my word of advice here is that I tried to use Bootstrap and my problem was I couldn't customize certain things because I didn't link it right. And by linking it right, I mean if you're in your HTML file, you have to link your CSS somewhere here. So like this one, for example, style.css. What I did was I made a folder here, css/style.css, but I didn't have a folder. So no matter what I did on the CSS, it wouldn't update on the website. And I was so confused. I thought it was Bootstrap that was a problem. So I was like, fuck. So my IT friend told me, because my CSS wasn't updating, he was like, put exclamation important in your CSS code. So if you look at my CSS right now, there's so many exclamation importance, and what that does is that it prioritizes this code over everything else. And the problem with that is that all the code is going on top of each other because I put too many exclamation importance when what I really should have done was just put CSS, the CSS slash here, I could have just taken out and it would have updated. I was so fucking dumb. So if you're taking the subject, I don't know if you understood what I said, but if you're taking the subject, do not put exclamation important everywhere, or else you're gonna encounter some problems and it's gonna take a lot of time to fix it. So, sheesh. 8-week WordPress. So we learned WordPress, which is a free open source website creation platform. You can compare it similar to Wix. However, on a more technical level, WordPress has like a content management system for you to organize your articles or whatever. So it's not just a website builder, but it also helps you manage the content that people can put on your website. So now that we've learned HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and WordPress, our prof was like, oh, now you can make your websites. Go and make the homepage and submit it to me next week. I didn't mention this, but earlier we had to submit website mockups to our professor before we made the website. You have to make a mock-up of all your pages, whether you have a home page, an about page. I mean, I'll just show it. Okay, so here are the mock-ups. So this is the mock-up for the home page. You have to make like two. One for what it looks like on a display with normal resolution, and one that what it looks like or what it could look like on a phone. So that means you're already thinking about what it looks like, the breakpoints, the buttons, each page. So you have a home page, about page, videos. You know, if you have a button and then it pops up something, what will it look like? Contact page. There you go. It's really fun until you have to code it. Now our prof was like, oh, okay, now for the following weeks you just have you make your website, do everything, you know, do whatever the fuck you want. And you can, you know, message him anytime if you have a problem. You could use any method. You can use purely a Bootstrap template. You can use hard code. You can customize Bootstrap. You can use WordPress. For me, however, since we only used a week for WordPress, I didn't want to use it. I wanted to use something that I already know how to go around with. So I just went with the HTML, CSS route, while getting a navigation bar from Bootstrap and customizing it. So where is my website? Where's the big reveal? Here is my website. So this is what it looks like. This is what I submitted. We got a moving header. And then if you hover over these, it changes color. And then you can play this video to learn about goodbye.
Hi,
Goodbye, freelance. So if you don't know what goodbye is, we made it so that we can give a platform for experienced freelancers to share their advice, to hopefully help out people who want to be freelancers. So you can watch videos straight from them. So if I click on this, it's gonna take me to the YouTube channel, asking you to subscribe. You subscribe like I did. And then we also host lives if we find a guest and they agree with us to do a live with them, so that you can also ask them questions. And I think that's pretty cool. And then we got the footer showing us about us, contact, and the social media stuff that you can also click on. That's the homepage. About page is different. It shows you me and my girlfriend. Ta-da! What is goodbye? Here you go. Oh, actually, I should show you what it looks like if you make this smaller. So this is what it looks like. If you make it smaller, it's gonna look like that. Oh, look at that. Look at the hamburger menu. So it goes down like this. And then if you click on this hamburger menu, there you go. So I didn't really fix it like when it's like up to here, but I fixed it until like that amount. Then you can go to our contact page, and then you could actually send me an email here. You can be like, Pussy Destroyers 169, and then you put your email, give an email to myself. And then you can, you know, send whatever message. And then if you hit submit, you get this page, submission complete. You go back And then we go check that email real quick. Oh, there you go. Be careful with this message. It could be spam. Lamau. There you go. I sent an email to myself using the contact page. Oh, also something really cool here are these buttons. So this is the video channel. So if you click on it, oh, there's a pop-up and then there's a carousel. At first, I was like so overwhelmed because I thought I couldn't do this, but you can, you know, like that's super cool. I think that's super cool. I put a few of the featured freelancers here so that when you click on them, you can go straight to whatever their account is. So that's pretty cool. So that's the subject of, well, that was it. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below so that I can make better content and make you guys honestly, I'm done with all my finals and I'm fucked right now. So, but if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and you know, it's gonna help me create better content for you guys. So if you like the dislike, and till next time, homies.